What's up, guys? It's draft lottery time. Today, for Habs fans, this is a huge day. For Philadelphia fans, this is a huge day. For Seattle Kraken fans, this is a huge day. We have the best odds, essentially. Even the Arizona Coyote fans, if there's any at all, have um, uh, essentially a very exciting day ahead of them. Today is a good chance to win it all in terms of getting the first overall draft and drafting the best prospect available, who is Shane Wright. So we have the odds right now. We have the Montreal Canadiens with an 18.5% chance of getting the first overall, then followed by the Arizona Coyotes, 13.5, Seattle
Oh,
in 11.5%, Philadelphia 9.5, New Jersey Devils 8.5, Chicago 7.5, but there's a condition that I'm going to get into after. The Ottawa Senators 6.5, Detroit Red Wings 6%, Buffalo Sabres 5%, Anaheim Ducks 3.5, San Jose Sharks 3%, Columbus Blue Jackets 2.5%, New York Islanders 2%, Winnipeg Jets 1.5%, Vancouver Canucks 0.5%, and the Vegas Golden Knights 0.5%, but as a condition. So I'm
so
gonna, yeah, sorry, Luca.
just one sec. Do you guys hear do you hear my background or no?
No one hears your background.
Okay, perfect. Because I just I've got the volume up. That's why. So I just wanted to make sure that people didn't hear it. So okay,
So
but yeah, no, the draft lottery odds they're there. I know Vegas has a condition where I think if it's top 10, yeah, if it's top 10, then it goes to Vegas, and then they transfer Buffalo's pick. They draft transfer to Buffalo their first round pick in 2023. But then if it's not top 10, then it becomes Buffalo's pick, which is actually, if you're a Buffalo fan, you must be happy about that regardless. And then for Chicago, is if it's a top 2 pick, then they transfer next year's draft pick to Columbus, and they keep this year's draft pick. If it's not top 2, then they give their draft pick to Columbus, and Columbus has potentially going to have 2 first round picks in the first 12 selections, which is going to be really interesting to see what happens there if they do end up getting lucky today. So there's definitely some interesting teams in here. Obviously, as a Canadiens fan, picking number 1 in Montreal would be really cool. Just simply for the fact that the draft's in Montreal, and I think Montreal drafting first overall would be really cool. But again, I think that this draft lottery is going to be really interesting in the sense that there's no a lot of scouts out there have kind of said that there's no real consensus number 1 pick. I know that Shane Wright is the guy that I think a lot of people are looking at.
can I just make a statement in terms of the comparisons to the top 3 picks this year? So
Yeah.
if you want Shane Wright, essentially you're getting a Patrice Bergeron type of player. If you want a Logan Cooley player, you're essentially going to get a Sebastian Aho type of player. And if you want a Kemmel player, you're going to get a Philip Forsberg. And this is Craig Button's top 3 list.
Right. So here's
So
the
I
thing.
don't really have Kemmel in my top 3. I have Slavoski, and I think you do too.
Yes, I do. I wrote Slavkovsky at number 3 for me, but just kind of going back to what I was saying before, um, we've got kind of a situation here where Shane Wright, he's I'm not going to say that he's considered by a lot of people like the number 1 overall pick, but there's a lot of scouts out there, and I've seen a lot of lists that have him and Logan Cooley as a 1A 1B. Basically saying that depending on the team that gets the first overall pick, they may not necessarily go with Shane Wright. And so I think that this is going to be really interesting. I think if we talk about the teams that are available, obviously, as we see from the lottery odds, there's definitely some interesting teams. Chris, if you want to pull up the lottery odds again, just because I kind of forgot, the order of it.
Yeah.
But just essentially what that is, I think you look at it. I think a team like Seattle is a perfect example, or a team like Philly, or even New Jersey. These teams potentially winning a first overall pick could definitely help them in their rebuild. Obviously, the Canadiens and Arizona too are teams to look at, and obviously Seattle as well. I think Seattle is an interesting one in the sense that they're a newer franchise in the NHL. We saw what Matty Beniers was capable of doing when he came into the NHL roster towards the end of the season. And I think that picking up a guy like Cooley or Shane Wright, and even winning the lottery in this case, in Seattle's case, I think would help them really good in their franchise and really good for their franchise. Just gonna answer Anthony's question over here. He basically says in this year's draft in 2022, is this year's draft in terms of 2022 in terms of being able to get quality guys in the second or third round, or is it half heavy? Because I'm a Panthers fan, 2 premium picks in the first 3 rounds. I'm going to say something. I think this draft is underrated in a lot of aspects. I think a lot of people don't necessarily rate this draft as top heavy. I think there's a lot of people that think that 2023 is going to be even better, and I believe that too. But I think that this year there's a lot of guys that are going to fall in the second and third round that may still be really good impact players and guys that I think could have underrated chemistry. One guy that's been talked about a lot in terms of his draft stock and where he's kind of going to potentially move up or down in the draft is a guy like Brad Lambert. And I'm not saying Brad Lambert's going to be a second or third round pick, but he's a guy that there's no real consensus as to where he's going to be, right? There's talks about him potentially going top 15. There's talks of him going top 10, but there's also, in Craig Button's case, having him in the second round. So I think there's a lot of guys, and obviously the other one.
Really, I would have never thought that someone would have him that low, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. And I think, too, another one that's really interesting is Ivan Mirosnichenko. Now, the reason why this guy is really interesting is because he's kind of going through an illness at the moment, and he didn't play
Isn't
a
he
lot.
diagnosed with cancer, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so. And I think that's been one of the biggest things with Ivan Mirosnichenko is he's got all this talent. The question becomes, when is this guy going to be able to come back to form? And is he a risk worth taking because of his health and because of what we know about him now? So he's another guy that if he falls in the draft, and if he falls late in the draft, like second, third round, and let's say a team like Florida takes a chance on him, or another team that decides to take a chance on him, he might be a guy that in 2-3 years from now, we look at and go, this guy was a steal. Teams passed up on him when they probably shouldn't have. So I think there's definitely a lot of room in this draft to definitely draft some high-end talent in later rounds. But what I'm also really curious about, too, looking at this draft lottery, is that there's only 2 draft winners this year. In previous years, there were 3 lottery winners considered, right? The first, second, and third overall picks. Now there's only 2. And the Montreal Canadiens actually have a really good chance at picking number 1 and still not winning the lottery, because how it works is that you can only move up 10 spots. So if any of the teams outside the top 10 win the draft lottery, then the Montreal Canadiens would technically be guaranteed the first overall selection also. So that's something to really keep an eye on, is the Canadiens could still draft first without necessarily winning the lottery. And that's going to be really interesting, right? Are the Canadiens going to get that lucky? We don't know. But
I actually have something funny to show you guys before the draft happens. But before that, I just want to add a quick thing, because everyone's talking about the offense in this draft. But you have Nemec and Juracek, who are fantastic defensemen. Nemec, for some reason, I get Aaron Ekblad vibes from him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's one of the he's a guy that has a two-way type of game, defensively and offensively, and Ekblad reminds me of that, especially that Ekblad went in the top 3 a couple years ago, and I see Nemec being in the top 3 or at least top 4, and then there's David Juracek, who got injured at the World Juniors. The first World Juniors, because now because of COVID they canceled it and they postponed it for the summer. That's going to be happening in July, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada.
I think July or August. I think it was August.
Yeah, one of those months.
I think it's right before I think it's right before preseason starts for the NHL. So I think it's August.
Okay. That's good for them. I'm happy that they're going to get the opportunity to play at the World Juniors, but unfortunately, a lot of guys that want to showcase their talents before the draft are not going to be able to do so. But David Juracek, for me, I would say that he's going to be a top 10 pick, and whoever gets him is very lucky, because I compare him to a Moritz Seider type of defenseman, and I think he's going to be a type of guy who's going to compete for the Calder when he plays in his first year in the NHL. So.
Well, it's gonna be between him and Nemec, right? Juracek and Nemec are kind of gonna be the 2 big guys in this draft on defense. But I think what's really interesting too about this draft, and it's one of the most interesting things that I noticed as well. There's a lot of guys in the 15 to 20 range that are guys that could potentially be top 10, even top 5 talents that are going to be at 15. right? We looked at an example like Cole Caulfield, right? When Cole Caulfield got drafted a couple of years ago, Cole Caulfield was a top 5 talent going into that draft, and he fell to 15. And I think we could see a similar situation in this draft where a guy that maybe we see potentially seeing as a top 5, maybe even top 6 or 7 pick, likely fall um, to 15. Also, Anthony, I kind of already answered your comment about only having 2 picks in the 5th round. We only have a 2nd and 3rd round pick this year. I kind of already addressed that in the sense that I think in the 2nd and 3rd round there are some guys that are capable of being underratedly good players, and I think Florida or any other team that have only 2 picks in the first 3 rounds can definitely utilize to go pick up someone that's underrated. But like I said before, I think one of the biggest things, and you mentioned it as well, Chris, I think the defense in this draft is really underrated. And I think that there are a lot of guys in this defense that are going to be potentially top 4 defensemen in the National Hockey League, right? And so obviously there's Juracek, there's obviously Simon Nemec as well, but there's also a few other guys. Owen Pickering's a guy that I've looked at a lot as I think he's been a guy that's really been an interesting player. I know Matthew Savoy, he's a forward, obviously. He's a guy that I think is getting a lot of talk as well in the draft about where he's going to go. But one guy that really interests me before we get into the draft lottery coming up in about 3
Actually,
minutes.
right before that, say whatever you have to say. I need to show a funny video that was posted by Tony Marinaro, who works for the SIG podcast and TSN 690 on the radio. This is for Montreal Canadian fans, but also for NHL fans in general. It's just funny how serious people take this and how people would go and do crazy things, like really out there, just to ensure that they get the first overall pick. So, Luca, just finish up what you were saying, and I'll be able to share.
Yeah, so basically, just really quickly, one guy that's really interesting on draft list that I think a lot of people should pay attention to, especially if your team that you're following is drafting between 5 and 10, and we'll talk more about it after the results come out. But Frank Nazar is a guy to really watch out for going into top 5, top 10, even top 15 range. So if you're a team drafting within that range, that's a guy that I think you should definitely, if you don't know anything about him, search up his highlights, because he's a guy that's really made a guy like Logan Cooley look good in a lot of instances as well. So he's a guy to definitely watch out for in this draft. But yeah, show the video, Chris. Play it.
Okay, so here we go, guys. This is a huge fan of the Montreal Canadiens and also a guy who talks about the Montreal Canadiens very often on his podcast and on TSN 690.
We pray in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for your love, your blessing upon us, for creating us in your own image.
I can't believe you did this.
To bring us joy in different ways with your blessing, especially on this day as the joy comes through sports. We ask your blessing on this team. We are going to really looking for their first pick. And as your word says, may you grant them their heart's desire, that they may really see and feel the joy in their life through your blessing. And we ask this, especially through the intercession of our Blessed Mother, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Father,
Chris,
it's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right.
You heard it from Father Don Bosco. It's going to be all right.
So essentially,
just don't forget to tag that video. Like, don't forget in the comment section below, after in the description, just don't forget to put the link to the video, because obviously we don't want to get copyright claimed either.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to do that right after. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was, once again, Tony Marinaro of TSN 690 and the SIG podcast, which is, totally funny to see that he would go that far to ensure Montreal gets first overall.
Ange collects. If you're in Montreal or if you're in Canada, I would assume that it's on TVA Sport, Sportsnet, if you have Sportsnet. If you're in the States, you can watch it on ESPN, and you can also watch it on ESPN Plus as well. So those would be the channels that I know of that are showing it. I think, maybe TNT as well. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that, but those would be the channels where the lottery would be.
And Jason,
Jaden,
sorry. So Jaden, we all know that you're a Philadelphia Flyers fan. You've been a subscriber of ours for a while now,
Yeah.
and you claim that you're gonna rob us Montreal Canadian fans. Uh,
What fan is
we'll
Jaden
see.
again? Do you remember?
He's a Philadelphia Flyers fan.
Ah, he's a Flyers fan. Okay, so they're the ones that picked Cam York ahead of Caulfield, right? Okay, yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
it
hey, I don't. I mean, look, that was bad, and also the Nolan Patrick draft. But I mean,
is. So I don't know. Does Philly really want the first overall pick? I don't know. I'm not so sure. With Chuck Fletcher at the helm, I don't know. But yeah, so Sportsnet just started it. They're not.
so we have David Carrier who says, "Would second be better for Montreal?"
You
Uh
should answer this first, and then I'll go.
honestly, okay, so right would be first overall, and that's my prediction. So then, as second, you have between Cooley or Slavkovsky to choose between, and we know that Hughes wants to get bigger in terms of size for the Montreal Canadiens, but then again, you also want talent. Slavkovsky was the MVP at the Olympics. He competed against men. We all aware that the NHL did not compete in that tournament, so it was a mix of like older guys, KHL players, players that played in Switzerland, basically in Europe, and even AHL guys, and some rookies from the juniors. So I mean, yeah, that's good essentially, but Cooley, I don't know, there's something about him. At first, I would have had Slavkovsky over Cooley, but in recent weeks, I really warmed up towards Logan Cooley, and I don't know. I think I would choose Logan Cooley at number two. What about you, Luca?
Oh well, yeah. I think going back to kind of what you were saying too. I think personally, if you've got Cooley or Slavkovsky, I think those are two guys that are pretty much similar in the sense that like I think their draft rankings, in a lot of drafts and a lot of scouts that we've seen and spoken to, they've kind of said the same thing. They're 1 and 2. They're pretty much unanimous at this point about 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, depending on where the teams end up. So I think one thing that's really interesting is I think it depends on like you said. I think it depends on what team gets there. I think if the Canadians get second for the Habs, I think there's an opportunity to definitely go and do that. And so I think that that's going to be something to really look forward to going forward. But I think if the Canadians go second overall, I don't know if it's necessarily better. I think they have more options, but I think even at one they have more. They have a lot of options because they're the first team to pick, right? So I don't really know if it's better. I think for the Habs fans, I think picking first would be really cool. So I would go with that.
Okay, guys. So we want to hear your predictions in terms of, who do you think is going to win the first overall pick? As a Montreal Canadiens fan, as much as it pains me to say this, I think they fail to get the first overall pick. And I actually think, and this is a really bold take, I think Seattle gets the first overall pick. Montreal falls to second, and then Philly drafts third. I don't know why. I've been having so many bad dreams recently, and as a diehard Canadian fan, I just don't see it. I've done so many simulators with so many of my friends at work, from school, and whenever I go out, and we keep on getting Montreal at second or third. I just feel like it's not meant to be, especially if the draft is in Montreal. People are gonna make claims that it was rigged and so on. So I just don't think that's gonna happen. Is it gonna be you know a blessing in disguise that Montreal doesn't get first overall? Maybe, maybe not. I really don't know, but I mean, obviously, everyone wants Shane Wright. Everyone always wants the first overall pick, whether if that player ends up being a bust or a pivotal part of a team's success. So we'll see what happens. So we also have Jaden saying that we don't have Hextall anymore, so I'm confident this time. Hey, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, your general manager's Fletcher. He can't even decide between a rebuild or if he's gonna continue with the core that he has. But I mean, maybe they know how to draft properly this time. So we'll see what happens.
Give
And we
me.
have,
No,
sorry,
no,
look what you said.
no, go.
We have Braden Duffy who says, "Who's getting it? Who do you think?" So, like I said, my pick would be Seattle first overall. Luca, who's your first overall pick?
I want to say the Habs, but just because I don't want to be biased and I don't want to like jinx it, I'm gonna say Arizona.
Okay, and a lot of people are saying that Arizona might win it because Bettman is trying anything in his path to ensure that Arizona is successful, even though they are going to a college arena where they're going to fit about 5,000 fans. And we're not saying that Arizona has horrible fans or anything. There's just not enough of them. There's not enough of them, and the team itself, the way that it was constructed since they entered the league in the early 2000s, it's never been competitive enough to garner enough interest and to garner enough interest for players to sign there or re-sign there. A lot of them asking for trades to get out of the desert. The only guy that's been loyal to Arizona has been Shane Doan, who has retired. Um, Question for a friend who is both a Flyers and Red Wings fan. Who are the best fits in terms of prospects for defense and offense for both teams? Well, if the Flyers are drafting in the top three, I would say for me, I see Logan Cooley going to the Philadelphia Flyers. I just feel like it's just a
Yeah,
natural fit.
that makes a lot of sense in terms of where I think he could go as well. I think he's a guy that in Philly would make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, so I agree with that.
And let's see what in terms of Detroit. Detroit.
Detroit.
I see Juracek going to Detroit.
Yeah,
They need to bolster up that D core. Moritz Seider
yeah, but
is
they already have
not
Sider.
enough. And there's rumors that Hronik might get traded during the offseason. So and Mark Stahl, I think he's probably going to retire unless he has one more year left on his contract. I'm not too sure, but they need as much defense as possible. I think they're pretty solid on offense. And goaltending, I would say that they need a backup goaltender because Nadakovic is a pretty good goaltender, but he's still young. He's not there yet. And we also have Jaden saying that imagine the Devils draft Jack Hughes. So Jack Hughes, yes, this is not the Jack Hughes that has already been drafted. That's one of their best players or their best player currently. Jack Hughes is actually Kent Hughes' son, the Montreal Canadiens general manager.
Oh yes,
His son
yes.
is being drafted potentially in the first round or maybe early in the second round. So there, it would be funny if they have two Jack Hugheses on the team. So I don't know how they're really going to distinguish between those two. And there's also Jack Hughes' brother that was drafted last year, if I'm not mistaken. What's his first name, Luca?
What for? Which one? For Jack Hughes?
Yeah,
Jack
the
Hughes.
no, his younger brother, the defenseman that got drafted,
Luke Hughes.
Luke Hughes. Yeah, he got drafted
Yeah.
by New Jersey last year in the first round.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's Luke Hughes. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just
Okay.
replying to an email. That's why I'm not speaking. It's just because
has
it's important. So
has the draft even started? It said it was supposed to
no,
start
no,
at six
they're
thirty.
interviewing Shane Wright at the moment.
Oh, that guy's nervous.
He's probably looking at this going, please not Arizona, please not Arizona.
So, guys, I have a question for you guys, people that are watching right now. Would you guys like us to leave up the odds at winning the first overall pick, or would you guys like us to showcase what's going on Twitter in terms of people's reactions on people basically reacting to the lottery draft or um, analysts reporting how the order of the lottery draft. So we have Robert who actually agrees with me here, saying that Kraken getting that first pick. Yeah, someone that agrees with me. So thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
I, but look, I think the Kraken definitely can get the first overall pick. I think they're a team that I
Okay,
think.
so Brave wants to see the odds. So I'm gonna get the odds
Yeah,
back.
show the odds back.
Okay, give me a second, guys. Shouldn't be that long. Okay, just gonna share the screen. Guys, we want to hear your predictions in the chat below. Who do you think gets the first overall pick, and what do you think the draft order is going to be, and who gets drafted in the top three? We would like to engage you guys and see what happens. See if we all have the same draft order and the same top 16 draft picks. Okay, so we have the draft odds up for you guys. By the way, guys, tomorrow, I know we've been teasing this for a couple of days now, or at least the past week. Tomorrow, we are going live with Data 782. He's known for his GM modes on YouTube. He's going to be talking about his top 16 prospects being drafted according to the order that is announced today after the
All right,
lottery
I'm ready.
draft and the Young Guns podcast. So,
Yeah.
me, Luca, the other Chris, and I will construct a top 16
Wait,
uh, prospect order in terms of the order that is announced tonight. And we're going to be comparing both our lists and going through the list on why we have those players positioned in that order. So don't forget to tune in for that. We're going to be working on the thumbnail and setting up the episode after this
Okay,
episode.
so they're
After
only
we know the
doing.
order.
Are they only doing this draft? Are they only doing this lottery at fucking like it's 6:42 and they haven't done shit yet? What's going on here? Like
Okay,
they're showing
so-
a video. They're showing videos of Cheetos. Like
Oh my god.
come on, man.
So most underrated prospects coming out of Russia, America, Canada, and Finland. Nobody's talking about.
Well, here's my. Actually, it's funny. I have my list right here. So it's good timing actually. Nice question. But for Russia, like I mentioned before, there's Ivan Mirosnichenko. He's a guy that I think nobody's talking about in the sense that, like I said, medical condition and kind of where he's at. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes and where he falls. But one guy that I think a lot of people haven't mentioned in terms of Russian players is Danil Yurov. He's a guy that I think fell out of a lot of draft lists recently. He's a guy that was projected to be a top 10 pick going into this season's draft and kind of fell down the radar a lot. So he's a guy that I think could be very interesting to watch out for going into the NHL entry draft.
Yeah, he had a pretty good World Juniors, or at least the original World Juniors that got canceled last year. At the end of last year in December. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty surprising that he fell down because Yurov was actually one of the bright spots for Team Russia. And Team Russia was very inconsistent in their play at the World Juniors.
They're bringing out the cards.
Finally,
Scott Clark is bringing out the cards.
It's about time.
I'm gonna start reacting. So get ready because Bill Daly is about to release some of the cards. I don't know if he's gonna show all of them. I don't know what's going on here, but he's got 16 cards over here. So
guys, expect something
sorry,
big
Anthony,
to happen, for better or for worse.
That's it. But here, Bill Daly's talking. So here we go, baby. We're getting ready to go to name. So basically, guys, here's how it works. So Chris has the odds in front of us, which is good. So we'll be able to follow the teams one by one here. But basically, if we see a team that's not supposed to be in their natural position, it's because they won the lottery. So example, if team number 16 is not the Vegas Golden Knights, then they won one of the lottery positions, which means they can move up 10 spots. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. So here goes Bill Daly as he gets ready to announce the cards.
I'm so scared.
16.
And guys, just because we're from Montreal does not mean that we're biased towards Montreal. We're understanding.
Vegas Golden Knights get 16.
Okay, we're understanding of their situation. We know they're a bad team. They need to rebuild. They're nowhere near a contending position like they were when they faced Tampa Bay last year.
So that becomes Buffalo's pick. So now Buffalo is picking at 16 because of Vegas, because of the Eichel trade and the condition. At 15, NHL Draft belongs to the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay, so far it's following the order based off the odds. So far there's no surprise.
So far there's no surprise. So Vancouver and Vegas at 15 and 16. Well, Buffalo technically 14. At 14, belongs to the Winnipeg Jets.
Okay, so the order stays intact for now.
This is nerve-wracking, man. This is freaking nerve-wracking.
Guys,
man.
if we react, we're just Montrealers,
fanboys,
and that's it.
We're reacting because we're the Habs fans. 13.
But again, we know their situation.
New York Islanders. They fired Barry Trotz, by the way. Watch that video. We posted it yesterday.
Yeah, and he's been connected to a couple of teams. If you guys are interested in who the teams are, check that video out.
12. This is interesting because it's Columbus. 12. NHL Draft belongs to Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay, so the order continues.
Ooh, Yarmo doesn't look too happy about that. He's like, damn, I want to win. It's
I
okay.
mean,
It's okay.
2.5%.
Yeah,
the chances
yeah.
are not high.
All right, so San Jose is supposed to be at 11 here. Belongs to San Jose Sharks.
Okay, the order still stays intact. So far, guys, no
Are
big
they
upset.
gonna
No
go
surprise.
to commercial break here, or are they gonna show this?
No, there's no commercial break this year. They're doing everything before the playoff games start at
10.
7.
10 is who? It's supposed to be Anaheim. Anaheim Ducks, top 10.
Okay,
They
we're in the
haven't
top 10 right
moved.
now, guys.
The Anaheim Ducks.
Ooh.
9 is Buffalo.
So the order stays intact, guys.
No,
put
wait.
your
The
predictions
order's,
in the chat.
No, I'm just saying. But 9th on the list is Buffalo. They haven't
Oh,
announced
okay.
it.
I got scared. I was like,
9.
holy
But
crap.
the 9th overall selection is the Buffalo Sabres. So
Okay.
there, Buffalo fans, you guys are picking 9th and 16th.
Pretty solid, and it's not like they're gonna draft bad players. They're gonna draft pretty solid players, and they played very good hockey
Okay.
this year. Very
At
surprising.
number 8, is it going to be the Detroit Red Wings? Let's see. The Detroit Red Wings. So number 8 is Detroit. So that means the top 7 hasn't
Oh
been
my God! Come
The
on!
top 8 hasn't been touched yet. The top 8 hasn't been touched.
I'm
It's been
so
the same.
scared.
7 is supposed to be Ottawa. 7 is supposed to be Ottawa.
Philly fans, Kraken fans,
Oh, boy.
Coyote fans, Habs fans. What are you guys feeling right now? Are you guys nervous?
The Ottawa Senators. 7.
No
Ottawa's-
upset so far.
Ottawa's picking 7th. Now, this is interesting because Chicago, if they get top 2 here, they keep their pick. If not, it goes to Columbus.
Yeah, I prefer that it goes to Columbus, to be honest.
Chicago Blackhawks, which means Columbus will take pick number 6. So Yarmo's happy now.
Yarmo's
Yarmo's got a
happy, and
smile on his
Chicago
face
is
now.
not. Oh, pathetic. That was part of the Seth Jones deal, by the way, guys.
Yo, that means the top 5. That means the top 5. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ah, guys, I'm nervous.
Oh, New Jersey won the lottery. Wait, Philly at 5. Philly at 5. That means New Jersey got one of the lottery picks.
Oh my! Well, there's the upset, and Philly. We're sorry, guys. You guys go down in the draft
New Jersey
order.
got one of
Jaden,
the
how you
lottery
feeling?
picks. New Jersey gets one of the lottery picks. Okay, 4 belongs to Seattle Kraken at 4.
So they go down. So it's between
Yeah.
the Habs, the Coyotes,
So now it's
and
between
New Jersey
Montreal and
Devils.
Arizona. It's
Wow,
between
I'm
Montreal and
about
Arizona.
to break my TV.
Please. Come on. Give me top 2. Top 2. Yeah, top 2. I'll be happy with top 2. Top 3 is good, but I want top 2.
Watch New Jersey get the second overall. And Montreal gets number 1.
Oh, no. Don't go to commercial break. Don't do this shit. Nah, bro. Stop. Don't go to commercial break. Those fucking
Okay, so let's engage with our audience right now. Robert says Philly lost
Oh
their captain getting
my
lottery
God.
pick. Tough luck. I can't believe that right now we witnessed Philly and Seattle go down. So Robert and I were wrong. Seattle are not getting the first overall pick. It's between the
Hey, you're
Coyotes,
still getting a
Canadiens,
good
and
player at 4,
Devils.
though.
I'm telling you guys right now, the Devils are getting third. Second is Coyotes. First is Montreal. Book it, and that's it. But if New Jersey gets number 1, I have to say,
Bro, New Jersey. Okay, you gotta think about this way. Okay, New Jersey are in such a really good position now because they're guaranteed either Shane Wright, Slavkovsky, or Logan Cooley. And
to
to
play
me,
along, if they get Slavkovsky or Cooley to play alongside Jack Hughes,
bro,
holy
think about
crap.
it. Think about
And
their
Jester
center core.
Bratt.
Think
Wow.
about their center core, okay? They can now move Hischier to the wing if they have to. They can move Hischier to wing or
I'm so
move one of
nervous right now.
Slavkovsky or Wright or Cooley, and they can now have Jack Hughes and Cooley or Slavkovsky or Wright, whoever they end up finishing. That New Jersey must be really, really happy with it. New Jersey fans, you guys must be screaming because, especially if you get the first overall pick. I don't know how the lottery works. I don't know if New Jersey. I hope Montreal doesn't get 3, man. I really hope they don't get 3 because we've had bad luck with third overall picks. and
According
we're
to
in
Frank Saravelli, he says New Jersey have won one of the top
Two
of the
picks.
2
Yeah.
top picks. So
Yeah.
wait,
That's what I'm saying. Montreal. It's between Montreal and Arizona now for the top 2. Whoever's third overall is guaranteed. That means the other one is guaranteed top 2. So New Jersey won the lottery in the sense that they won one of the top 2 picks. This doesn't necessarily mean they got the first overall pick, but what it means is now Montreal or Arizona, one of them is falling to either, one of them is falling to 3. So either Montreal's falling to 3 or Arizona's falling to 3.
Oh my god. So wait, so New Jersey's getting 1 or 2 then. They're not getting
New
3.
Jersey's either getting 1 or 2, but right now it's between Montreal and Arizona. Meaning
Look, guys. I'm gonna. Okay, wait. So Jaden says, for fuck's sake, so he's a Philly fan. My condolences. Let's move on. So, no, we're kidding. Honestly, it sucks. It sucks for Philly and it sucks for the Kraken.
Listen, Brave.
So
Listen,
please
Brave.
don't let the Canadiens get the first. Oh, brave. That was brave. That was a brave statement. Oh man. The Coyotes need this. Hey, I mean, the Habs need it too. And New Jersey, oh my God. So Joey Volpe.
Oh. Okay, here we go. My bad. Number 3.
Number 3 overall selection in the 20.
No, please.
Belongs to
Arizona! Yes! Top 2! Let's go! Come on.
Go
Give it to me.
second. First
Give it to me.
Montreal, baby.
Give Montreal, baby. Come on,
Right.
give it to me. I don't care, bro. Either way, top 2 is good. I'm happy
We
with
have
it.
Paul saying, please, Montreal.
Come on. Number 1. Here we go. NHL Draft belongs to.
Yeah! Shane right to Montreal, baby! First overall, Montreal! Woo! All right.
Baby.
Joey,
Oh,
no
baby.
time to stress. The Devils not win it. Montreal does it, baby.
Let's fucking go, baby. Woo!
Imagine this.
They did it.
Nick
Shane Wright to
Suzuki
Hab.
and Shane Wright as the 1-2 punch. Holy crap, guys. The Habs are in good hands, baby. So we have Brave saying crap. My condolences to the Coyotes. And we have Paul saying, with you, baby, let's go. We have Paul saying, yeah. And Joey says, screw the Sims, Chris. Okay, so a little bit of backstory to that. Me and Joey, or Joey and I, Joey and I have done numerous simulators where Montreal finished 2nd or 3rd, and they were wrong. And thank God that they were wrong, and now we get to celebrate. It's time to party in Montreal. Habs fans,
Oh, baby.
it's time to start honking in the streets.
Oh, wait. Kent is talking.
I think it's obviously a very exciting outcome for us. Our fans, I'm sure, will be thrilled. Especially
Thrilled, bro. Thrilled's an understatement.
Montreal to have
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time since 1980 that the Montreal Canadiens draft first overall.
an organization to start
Yeah.
taking strides towards returning to the playoffs.
Ken, félicitations à vous. Congratulations to you and the fans there. Maybe one identifying.
Ole, baby.
Yo, Chris,
Thank you for going to the church. And
Chris,
thank you to that priest.
we're going to the draft in Montreal this year, bro. We're watching
And
the
guys,
Habs.
we have an announcement. Chris, and Luca are heading to the draft in Montreal. When the tickets are out, we shall be there. We're going to
Fuck
try our
yeah,
best
baby.
to get as many clips as possible, post them on YouTube, and maybe we can even go live.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it, dude. Holy shit.
Okay, so it was 1981, according to
Wow.
Paul, and it was Doug Wickenheiser, and he was a bust. He was one of the busts, unfortunately, like Yakupov. Okay, guys, so what are your thoughts on the winner and the order of the lottery draft? Are you guys happy with the order? Are you guys not happy with the order? Let us know in the comments section below. We have a special guest coming on tomorrow. We're going to be dropping our predictions, the Young Guns predictions compared to Data 782's predictions tomorrow. So check that out. We're going to make our top 16 on both sides, do a little analysis on each player on why we made that list and why that order is the way that it is. And that's it. So we just want to say thank you so much, guys, for checking out this video. We're very pleased with the outcome of viewers that came today. And it's time to celebrate in Montreal.
Right,
and for New Jersey Devil fans, too, congratulations for cracking the top 2 for going second overall and going up in the draft. Unfortunately, Kraken and Flyer fans, it kind of sucks that you guys drop. But hey, man, top 5 picks, you can't complain with that. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, guys, for
headphone
watching.
users. RIP headphones users.
Well, Paul says good show. Thank you so much for being there. And guys, we're going to conclude today's episode. We'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you tomorrow when we drop our top 16 predictions into the draft order that was announced today. And Montreal, number 1, number 2, New Jersey, and number 3, we have the Arizona Coyotes. So until tomorrow, have a nice night, guys.